Hey there, Tara Harvey again, and I wanted to hop on live real quick today because I've gotten a couple of follow-up questions from the video I posted yesterday. So yesterday I talked a little bit about the Intercultural Development Inventory, an assessment tool for assessing and developing intercultural competence. So I just wanted to jump on and answer these follow-up questions. So I mentioned that an IDI debrief is necessary in order to get your results. So one of the questions that I received was, what does an IDI debrief entail? And also, why is it necessary? So basically, there are two types of IDI debriefs. You can do an individual debrief as well as a group debrief. You can do either one or the other, or you can do both. So an individual debrief that's the only way to get your group or your individual results. So the IDI, and again, the IDI is not my tool. This is an external tool created by IDI LLC, Mitch Hammer. If you want more information about the tool, you can go to idiinventory.com. But in order to get your results from the IDI, you have to actually have an individual debrief with someone called a qualified administrator. I'm a qualified administrator of the IDI. There are many others around the world. Many universities now are having groups of their faculty or staff become qualified administrators of the IDI. But you have to sit down with one of us, either in person, or I do mine typically over Zoom calls, in order to get your individual results. And you actually get a physical individual profile report that has your score and kind of walks you through your own results. But the sitting down with an actual qualified administrator really helps you put those results in context. And ethically, a qualified administrator should not be giving anyone those results without sitting down and helping you understand them in context. So when you sit down with a qualified administrator, they will really try to understand your context and help you understand the results in relationship to those. So you'll focus a lot on, at least this is how I do it, we talk a lot about your strengths when you're engaging across cultures and the challenges you face. And we try to identify, with the help of the IDI, what you can do to develop your intercultural competence, because I know that's a very vague goal to have. I want to develop my intercultural competence. But once you know where you fall on the developmental continuum, then we can pinpoint what specifically you can focus on in order to develop along that continuum, to develop your intercultural competence. So the debrief is not any type of judgment around who you are. It's not about your character. It's just looking at how complex of an experience are you having of cultural difference, and what could you do to start to understand and experience cultural difference in a more complex way so that you can navigate it more effectively when you're encountering cultural difference. So I always work with educators, many of which are also working with students. So when I do a IDI debrief with someone, we oftentimes also segue into a conversation around how does your own developmental orientation impact the work that you're doing with your students? How might you attend to students who are at different developmental places on this continuum? So an individual IDI debrief really goes into depth about you and your particular context, your strengths, your challenges, and what you can do to continue developing your intercultural competence. In addition to getting your results, you also get a document called the Intercultural Development Plan, and that is tailored specifically to your IDI results. So that has actual activities and reflection questions that you can go through in order to continue your intercultural development. And it is not the same for everyone. It depends on where you are. So by pinpointing where you are on that developmental continuum, then you are provided with specific tools that you can use to continue your intercultural learning and development. Hey, Amber, thanks for coming. So that's the individual IDI profile report. If you do a group profile report, you're not getting that individual document with your own results. You do not find out your individual results in a group profile. So if you do a group debrief, you also have to do the individual debrief if you want to see your own score or results. So in a group debrief, the main thing that you're looking at is the average of the group. So a group debrief is particularly helpful if you have some sort of an intact group, a group that works together, a team, a group of students that are going on a study abroad program together maybe. So you're looking at the average and also the distribution if the group is large enough. I only do distribution if there's enough people in the group that it's not pinpointing, oh, there's one person in this place. So you get the average and the group distribution, and then the qualified administrator should really help you talk through how this information will help you understand your work. So in the case of an intact work group, maybe you're the same department, doing a group debrief can help you then talk about, okay, how might this impact our ability to achieve our intercultural goals, for example. I'll oftentimes work through with groups, how is this playing out in your programming? Oftentimes we will have a conversation about how would programming from this developmental space look different from programming in this developmental space. So the group debrief, again, is not focused on individuals, but on the group as a whole, and it can be particularly helpful for intact groups. I recommend the individual debrief, and if you have an intact group of some sort, doing the group profile debrief as well. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that gives you a little bit more of an overview of why there is this thing called an IDI debrief and why you can't just get a document with your numbers like some other assessments. And the big reason is because it's really tailored to you, to your individual group, and helping you understand what these results mean for you and how you can use and apply them to continue your own growth and continue working with others to help them grow. So if you're interested in learning more about doing either type of IDI debrief, I include individual debriefs with all of the educators who go through my Facilitating Intercultural Learning program, and group debriefs can also be done as part of the intercultural workshops that I offer to universities and higher education institutions. So if you're interested in learning more, feel free to reach out to me, but I hope that's helpful for understanding a little bit more about IDI group and individual debriefs. Thanks.